everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new video and a brand new Star Trek review. Yes, up for watch today is Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Yes, continue straight on from the Wrath of Khan, the aftermath of what happened, and we have the inclusion of a very familiar face under some Klingon makeup. Yes, great Scott. That's right, yes, it's Christopher Lloyd himself playing a Klingon. Okie dokie, let's get this in the player and let's watch Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Okay, so Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Yes, search for old big ears. Right, after the destruction of the USS Reliant at the end of Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, the destruction was the formation of the planet Genesis, and it's a planet that they go back to in Star Trek The Search for Spock. Also at the end of The Wrath of Khan, good old Spock decided to give old Bones a present, yes. He gave him his living Katra. That's right, his soul and his essence and his memories and everything. And poor old Bones has got to carry it around with him. Back on planet Genesis, Kirk's son David is leading an expedition with Lieutenant Saavik, yes. Long gone is Kirstie Alley, and now she's replaced by Robin Curtis, yes, with a very fuzzy 80s hairstyle. And they're investigating the planet for like atmosphere and storms and things like that. And they also find out that there's actually a life form on the planet, so they go to investigate. Meanwhile, a nutcase Klingon, Captain Krug, played brilliantly by Christopher Lloyd. Great Scott! I know this is heavy. He wants the secret of Genesis, wants to use it as a weapon, and he's out to get it. So he travels to the planet to get the secret weapon and kill anybody in his path. Of course, poor old McCoy is having his head messed about with by Spock's Katra. Yes, leave me alone, get out my head. Of course, Genesis is now a restricted planet. You're not allowed to go anywhere near it. It's a bit like lockdown. So it's up to good old Kirk and crew to take McCoy, steal the Enterprise, fly off to Genesis and rescue Spock from the ugly Klingons. Yes. And basically they're picking up the pieces of the last film. So I love that it's continued, and it's also continued through to the next film, Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home as well. The Search for Spock is not as fast-paced as The Wrath of Khan. There are some really nice set pieces on the exploding planet. There's also a bit of a nod to Star Wars and a nod to the Cantina Bar as well. McCoy tries to secure passage on a transport in this bar with weird-looking aliens and stuff. He even manages to insult one of the aliens by taking the mick out of his ears. Another really great scene is the introduction of the NX-2000, the USS Excelsior, the big new swoosh starship that's supposed to do transwarp drive and is supposed to make the Enterprise look like a clapped out mini. So yeah, some really good action scenes, really great dialogue, funny dialogue. Special effects are done again by Industrial Light and Magic. We have the introduction of the new space dock, which does look really impressive, really big, and that would be carried on into the Star Trek Next Generation series. The cast, all the usual cast are back, including Merritt Butterick as David. As I say, Robin Curtis is replacing Kirstie Alley as Saavik. We have the introduction of Mark Leonard playing Spock's dad, Sarek. Few other people here and there, and of course Christopher Lloyd menacing it up as an evil Klingon. So the picture quality is really good, really solid picture again, very minimal grain. There was some very minor blocking effects as the Enterprise was going through space dock. Kind of like a square blackish block or a light block went around the Enterprise, where the special effects are probably aged and not holding up too well. But other than that, really good. The sound was Dolby True HD 7.1 again. Really good sound, lots of bass in the explosions, crisp dialogue, good use of the surrounds. Still not brilliant use of the surrounds behind, but the main channels were really good. I know they've always said that the odd numbered Star Trek films are usually flops, but I think Star Trek 3 is actually quite good. Brilliant. Okay, so how would I rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? I would give Star Trek 3 The Search for Spock 7.5 Vulcan finger games out of 10. Yes. Very entertaining, a good companion piece to the Star Trek Wrath of Khan, and team that up with the Voyage Home and you've got a really good Star Trek original trilogy. So I hope you enjoyed this review of Star Trek 3 The Search for Young Spocky. Yes. Next up will be Star Trek 4 The Voyage Home, which I do have a few stories to tell you about that one. And this one involves Wales. Yes, I've been to Wales. I went up Snowdon when I was younger. Anyway, we'll talk about that one on the next review, but I hope you enjoyed this movie review. Like it by giving it some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. Stick down in the comments, do you like Star Trek 3? Do you not like Star Trek 3? What are your fondest memories? And until the next video, how can you be deaf with ears like those?